Whenever there's a kill on the plains of East Africa, the chances are there will be jackals looking for scraps. To many people, jackals are scavengers, like vultures, whose lives depend on a mad scramble for the leftovers. But this image of a scavenger and a scrounger is by no means the whole truth. Most of a jackal's meals do not come from scrounging like the vultures. In reality, the jackal is a very capable predator that hunts young gazelles. Whatever you may feel about their hunting habits, jackals are highly attractive animals, and their young are as appealing as a litter of domestic puppies. Their parents are affectionate and protect and educate their pups. They are unfailingly faithful to each other for as long as they both live. Far from living a skulking and cowardly existence without a single redeeming feature, jackals live boldly and have very special family relationships. Let's take a close look at the way one jackal family goes about its life on the African savanna. Our story is about the black or silver-backed jackals of East Africa. There are golden jackals here too. The golden jackal is a close relation of the silverback, but has a shaggier coat and more uniform color overall. Golden jackals like the open plain areas more than silverbacks. Jackals are members of the dog family, which also includes the African hunting dog. From their appearance, you might think that it is from hunting dogs that domestic dogs are descended. But it is the jackals that are the ancestors of domestic dogs, even though at first glance they may look more like foxes. If you look closely, jackals do have many dog-like features. They have the same slender legs and similar ears and muzzles. Though the jackal's tail may resemble a fox's brush, it performs like a dog's, not a fox's, conveying mood and information in a highly expressive fashion. We are going to follow a particular pair of silverback jackals. This is the female. Her mate has a black tip to his rather light-colored tail, but otherwise the two look very alike. This reflects their equal partnership. They share their hunting, the care of their pups, and in this case, their scavenging. On average, less than 1/4 of their food comes from scavenging. The major part of their diet is small prey animals which they find in their territory of some 10 square kilometers. The pair defend this area against other jackals for as long as 11 years. Jackals are one of the very few mammals committed to a lifelong pair bond. Silverbacks prefer the country called scrub savanna, with grassland and small acacia trees. To advertise their occupancy of the territory, they scent mark bushes and stones with urine. The two scent mark the same spot. This dual marking tells other jackals that a pair is in residence and to keep out. The pair spend much of their time together, but if they separate, they can make contact by yelping to each other. The sound carries to all corners of their territory. The two often hunt together. It's more successful. At this time of year, they go for young Thompson's and Grant's gazelle and impala. The quarry has to be small because silverback jackals don't hunt in packs as hunting dogs do, for example, and their jaws don't have the necessary spread or power for larger prey. Here the male is searching for the newly born. But the mother impala turns the tables against him. The pair are beaten for the moment, but they're very resilient and adaptable, like all members of the dog family, and will always find another opportunity to exploit. Jackals have the finest eyesight in the dog family and a sense of smell and hearing that is superior to most. They find almost every kill that happens in their territory. In this case, a lioness has killed a wildebeest. The scavengers queue up for what's left. A scavenger's place in the queue normally depends on its size and strength. The hyena is strongest and will get in first when the lioness leaves. But it has to keep a respectful distance behind the bird scavengers and the jackals while the lions are still on the kill. The smaller scavengers don't pose such a threat to the lioness and can get in closer. This gives them a distinct advantage when it comes to finding scraps. The second hyena on the scene also has to stay back, either until a strong pack of hyenas builds up or until the lioness and cubs finish. Meanwhile, the jackals can be bolder. They know exactly when they can grab a morsel without getting grabbed themselves. The jackal's small size and nimbleness gives them a big advantage. The pair have got some good pickings while the hyenas have got none. The jackal pair need everything they can get now, for they have to feed a family. The pups are just 6 weeks old. They were born in a den underground where they remained hidden for the first 2 or 3 weeks. Now their eyes are open, they spend more time on the surface waiting for food. Both parents feed the pups several times a day. The mother regurgitates some meat for her 5 pups. This habit may seem unpleasant to us, but it makes a lot of sense for a jackal. Carrying meat in the stomach is a very efficient way of transporting food back to the young. It's a safe way too, for no other predator can steal it from them. She's still suckling them at the moment as well, but soon it'll be solid foods only. If she has no more food to offer, or the pups are being too boisterous, she gently cautions them. One of the pups has managed to get more meat than it can eat, and instinctively buries it like a dog buries a bone. It'll remember just where it is and dig it up later. Adults store food like this too. Every 3 or 4 weeks, the pups are led off to a new den site. If the litter stayed in one place for too long, the den would become foul and increase the risk of disease. The chosen site is a disused aardvark hole, which provides a secure underground refuge, but the pups are sometimes slow to use it. The hyena will kill them if it finds them. Fortunately, the male is here to divert attention away from the pups. Jackal parents are bold when faced with hyenas and will dash in and bite them from behind if they don't push off. Agility triumphs over size once again. From dusk, right through the night until dawn, the 2 parents keep a close watch on their family when they're not hunting or scavenging. This morning, the great wildebeest migration is moving in from the Serengeti further south, filling the jackal's territory with columns of restless animals. Trying to get from one part of their home ground to another to hunt is, for the moment, like trying to cross a busy highway. Wildebeest don't provide hunting possibilities for the jackals. Their young are too large. It's a young gazelle the pair must go for. Jackals rely mainly on surprise to catch their prey. Death is by strangulation. It's all over very quickly. The male has caught another Thompson's gazelle. Watch the way he puts up his tail to make himself more impressive to the defending mother. The pair never fight over prey. They always cooperate. They'll split the carcass into two, perhaps eat some, and then trot back to the den. The pups are 2 months old now, chewing anything and everything, and behaving just like domestic puppies. Now they're older, the parents leave them to their own devices for longer. It's at times like this that they sometimes get killed by birds of prey. The pups are fast asleep below in the morning sun. The young martial eagle will take any small animal it can catch. Either these banded mongooses or a jackal pup would fit the bill. The martial eagle alights away from the pups and the mongooses make their escape. The eagle will wait for them to present another opportunity. One month later, the pups are larger and out of serious danger from eagles. They're now developing the distinct silverbacks of their parents, getting more bouncy every day and busy establishing who's top dog. It all helps to while away the time when their parents are hunting. With 5 hungry mouths to feed, the parents are under great pressure, traveling up to 50 kilometers each day in search of food. Finding prey is a matter of persistence and luck. Silverback jackals hunt for their family both by day and by night if food is scarce, but the time they prefer is soon after sunrise. A family of warthogs draws their attention. Jackals are seldom seen taking warthogs, mainly because their parents defend them so well. But this female warthog is distinctly worried for some reason, and while some piglets have run to catch up, others have got left behind. The male grabs one unnoticed. The female has caught one too, and now she must get it to cover before the warthog spots her. During the time that the jackals have been busy dealing with the warthogs, disaster has struck their own family. 2 pups have been taken by a predator. Of the 5 pups, only 3 remain to beg for food. Many young animals have to die to provide for others. Jackals seldom raise as many as 5 pups to maturity. The male snaps at the remaining pups. He's very strict with them, rather like a Victorian father. Both parents seem disturbed by their losses and groom each other, perhaps for reassurance. It's after a tragedy like this that the parents often move their pups away to a safer den site. On the way, they see a kill ahead. The male dashes in to drive off the vultures. Then the female brings the pups in. This is their first experience of scavenging. Scavenging is just one of the things the parents teach their pups. They will show them other kinds of food too, including birds' eggs, grass rats, dung beetles and grasshoppers, and even fruit, depending on what's available. Jackals don't specialize. That's one of the secrets of their success, and it means that the pups can begin to fend for themselves before they learn how to hunt larger prey. At 5 months, the 3 pups are approaching full size. They no longer rely on the security of a den and live out in the open. They're feeding on a small topi carcass that their parents have brought in during the night. A tawny eagle and a vulture have come in search of scraps. The pups are not quite sure how to deal with the vulture at first. It is vital they learn to do so. Driving off bird scavengers is an important part of their future survival. Though they're not yet completely confident, they're beginning to realize that they can frighten vultures away. Inquisitiveness seems to rule their lives at present. They inspect a topi and her 3-week-old calf. Even if they knew how to tackle it, this young topi would be too big for the pups to down. The topi mother knows this and is quite indifferent. They, however, are fascinated by the suckling process. The 2 move on to join the 3rd, which has seen a young female vervet monkey. The whole thing is highly reminiscent of a domestic dog going hell for leather after a cat. Like a cat, the vervet takes refuge up in the trees. A male vervet monkey is feeding close by and moves down to rescue the female. He's bigger and drives the pups away. A month later, the pups are still in their parents' territory, though they're not able to help in its defense against intruders. Here, one of the pups plays with an intruder as they run towards a hyena kill on the territorial boundary. The pup's parents spot the intruder and move in to investigate. With the parents on the scene, the intruder adopts a very defensive position. There isn't much meat on this kill and it is not welcome. The stranger raises his paw to the parents in a submissive gesture. In its simplest form, this means, "Leave me alone." The defensive gape and ears back signal that it doesn't mean any trouble. But no appeasement will persuade the female jackal to allow the intruder on her patch. The jackal's close-knit family unit will secure more of the kill for the pups. That's if the hyena eventually leaves any. With the hyena in possession, the jackals will have to wait and see. At 7 months, all 3 pups are doing well, but they're not quite awake yet. Some passing wildebeest roused them from sleep. The pups start to play soon after they get up. This pup is telling the other to stop bothering him. Notice the teeth bared aggressively, coupled with the raised paw. It's gestures like these that prevent fighting and help keep the peace in the family. The other pup is dominant and shows it by a blow known as the hip slam. Later on, this blow will be used against strangers to sort out territorial disputes. They learn their social manners gradually. The pups also learn what things are good to eat. They have begun to take small prey animals. They're probably after a mole rat here, but it's digging faster than they can. There are still a few things that the pups haven't encountered yet. They view a cheetah and its twitching tail with intense curiosity. Jackals have been known to help cheetahs in some instances. One family of jackals was seen to run in amongst the herds of gazelle close to where a cheetah was lying hidden. By yelping and chasing the herds, the jackals distracted the game and the cheetah got a golden opportunity to kill. Later, the jackal family had the pickings. This sort of cooperation is rather rare. The pups certainly don't know about it. They have the reverse effect, in fact. As the cheetah attempts to kill, they run forward and frighten the gazelle ahead and ruin the cheetah's chances. The jackal parents, meanwhile, have had greater success. They've caught a young Thompson's gazelle. Working together, the pair can keep the mother at bay and the youngster from escaping. Cooperating with each other is a vital part of the jackal's survival. The whole family meets up after the kill. They greet each other affectionately. In the next few months, the pups will reach maturity. One or two may stay in their parents' territory to help raise further litters, or they may all disperse to establish territories of their own. But what is sure is that far from becoming skulking scavengers, the pups will soon be hunting as boldly as their parents. For that is the true way of the jackal.